Okay. Hey everybody. Sorry for the delay. We're trying to get connected. We've had some technical issues, so just bear with us for a moment, please. Make sure that you all share. Share. Hey Shamika, if you would share. Okay, so it's not letting me do it. It's not letting me click on you. I did.
It should say invite.
It's a 10 comment. Okay, so hey, Miss Sharon. So you want to come here? Okay, so give us a moment, you guys. So we try to do a duel. Let me know if you can hear us. Give us some hearts or some hearts and stuff, or some thumbs up. Okay, so you can hear us. I think you're clear. Let's see.
Yeah, mine is a little clear.
So we may jump off and then jump back on. You think it's clearer for you? And then it's kind of loud. Can y'all hear us okay? Is everything okay? Can y'all hear us? Share. Thank you, honey. Can you all hear us okay? We'll get a little bit louder if you cannot, but can y'all hear us okay? Because my speaker is at the bottom of my phone. Okay, we're okay? Hey, Auntie Sharon. Okay, thanks, Nika. So, we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, you all, I want to apologize for the delay on today. So, most of y'all know because we're on my live. But, this is my newfound friend, Tasha. Isn't she gorgeous?
Hello, everybody.
This is, so go ahead and let's introduce, go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody. I know you're on live on you, and then I guess you want to put you up here too, if you're live too? Are you live?
Yes. I'm not live yet. I'm still sharing it to my audience because it won't allow my audience to get onto your live unless I share it individually. So I'm trying to get my people on also so it can be a together kind of thing if possible.
So just bear with us a moment. I've never done, and y'all know Samsung is behind, so it may just be a Samsung issue and not so much as a Facebook issue. And I think I had the latest update, which means again that we are behind. So you iPhone users, I know you all like, well, if you had an iPhone, you'll be able to get on, you'll be able to work, but don't do it today. Don't come for me.
Okay. Let me see about going live. Okay, I'm on your live. Okay, my people are coming in. Okay. Okay, I shared you to my page.
Oh, see, you did it there.
Yeah, it let me do it. In the last 2 weeks, it has not allowed me to do it. And we had a good live on that one. Okay, what's the name of our live?
Life After Depression. Yes, y'all know Samsung, it gives us the business. I think I need an update. No, I think I did an update.
Start tagging my people to it.
Oh, I don't even know. I may need to share. I've never shared before.
Angela.
These dolphin bugs. Ooh, they so disrespectful.
Okay. I've tagged them. I'm ready. I'm going to go live.
She one of them people who go on live. You want to sit it here?
Yeah. There we go. Okay. Okay. Hey everybody. We are at Barnes & Nobles. I have found a new friend who is an overcomer of depression, and I wanted to bring her on. We wanted to do a collaboration together. We're on her Facebook Live, and we're also on my Facebook Live, and we'd love to share today just for a little while to help some people who are struggling right now, who don't know what to say, who to say it to. Am I really depressed? What am I going through? Does anyone even understand my pain right now? This sadness has lasted longer than a week. It's lasted longer than 2 weeks. It's lasted longer than a month. The way that I'm feeling right now, I don't know who to talk to. So we're on right now, and we want to help some people. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Miss Victoria.
Me go first. Well, I am Victoria. I am the founder of the Confessions of a Lady, which is a nonprofit organization where we speak out against domestic violence and abuse, concentrating on molestation and rape with children 8 and up. And within that, we also have a Mommy and Me mentoring program where we try to bridge the gap between communication and trust, because it's been lost within our community. And then I'm also the owner of Delaney's, which is an online boutique. We're clothes like this.
All right. You are fashionable today. And I just put on my t-shirt.
She's still gorgeous. She's still such a lady.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
So introduce everybody to who you are, because I know your people know who you are. Mm-hmm. Introduce yourself to people on my live today.
Okay. My people say they can't hardly see me. Okay, Roxanne. Thank you, Roxy. I'm Natasha Scott, and a few years ago, I was struggling with depression. My depression was situational. I was, on a $100,000 a year job. I was a single parent who was able to provide for her children, had a brand new car, had a brand new home built from the ground up, and all of a sudden, I couldn't work. I'm a police officer by trade, and you have to be able to run, jump, carry ammunition, carry, security vests, all of that kind of stuff, and I was not able to do it. So instead of me regrouping and saying, God, what's next? Tell me what's next for me. This is all that I know. I fell into a deep depression. Hey, Tiffany, I fell into a deep depression, and I stayed that way for 3 years. So, I'm here to help somebody that may be going through that same thing, because, I didn't support and the help that I needed in order for me to.
Okay, awesome. I hope nobody else calls. You can see on Facebook.
I know, right? They're doing it the same way.
Okay, well, for me, depression came from a lot of deep-rooted issues with life growing up. It wasn't so much as situational. It was just more so of always trying to, or feeling like I had to live up to a certain standard in order to be accepted by others. Mm-hmm. So it was an everyday situation. It wasn't just one thing made me become depressed. It was just let me clarify, feeling like I had to be something that I wasn't, or live a certain lifestyle that I wasn't, because now I know that it was all within my head. Yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as we go on and share our stories today. But so from there, in 2013, I actually tried to commit suicide for 5 times in my life. So the 5th time in July 2013, 2 friends of mine actually admitted me to the hospital in Tuscaloosa. Excuse me, I'm lying. Admitted me to a hospital in Birmingham, Alabama, Brookwood, and I stayed there for 3 days and 4 nights. And it was the it was at that point that I realized that I had an issue. But going and up to that day, I did not know that I had one, because with depression, if many of you all do not know, depression is not a lonely person. Depression comes with anxiety. Depression comes with suicidal ideation. Depression comes with loneliness. Depression can come with an addiction such as being promiscuous. It can come with I lost my train of thought. It can also come with
mine was more in my body, in my mind. It was I took all kind of anxiety medicine, Zoloft, Xanax, Trazodone. So I totally understand what you were talking about. So you're saying that you were admitted to a behavioral medicine part of the hospital?
Yes, I was admitted to the psychiatric ward.
Wow.
And I stayed there for 3 days and 4 nights. And I want to say on the second night, I actually, on the second night after speaking with the psychiatrist, he told me that not only, he looked at me, and this is the only part that takes me back for a moment. I remember sitting there after being admitted, when my friends got there, and the admission intake guy was a previous co-worker of mine, because as many of you all know, I worked in the mental institution for several years. My mother was too a person who worked with the mentally disabled, so I had been around them basically all my life, and now I was on the other side, as I like to say, of the lock and key. I could no longer just take myself and get out. And so he was there, and he looked at me and he said, "Vic, I can't believe you're here, like, what's wrong?" But the previous night before, I had been popping pills. My addiction, what came with my depression, was to pop pills. Anything from Loratabs to Percocets to anything that I can get my hands on. Because again, I worked within the mental institution, so it was easy acceptable. Easy accessible. Mm-hmm. And so that night before, I had been popping pills and I had been drinking. Now, I'm not a big drinker, so my tolerance level for it.
I see your face on mine too.
The tolerance level for it. Let's see if we can do this. Probably go this way. Whoa. Well, that's not gonna work. So
yeah, just close it. Yeah, just push it.
So the tolerance. It's gonna be okay. So the tolerance for me actually drinking was very low. So I remember that particular night, I had been drinking and I had been popping pills, and I had been I remember laying in the bed, and my daughter was actually taking, as I would go fall in and out of consciousness, my daughter was taking the alcohol and she was removing it. Yes, I did this in front of my daughter. Yes, I did this.
That's what they just said.
Yes, I was doing this without any care for her. So with depression, you don't understand the things and the people around who are impacting you. And I was remembering that she was there. So again, like I said, this was not my first time, not my second time, not my third time trying to commit suicide. This was actually my 5th time trying to commit suicide. And so like any other day, I got up and I went to work, took my daughter to daycare. I took some patients that I had, some clients that I had, to the doctor, and I remember the doctor looking at me and thinking that I worked for another agency, which I wasn't. And I remember my eyes catching a glimpse of myself in the mirror at the intake, and my eyes were glossy. My eyes were bloodshot red. You could tell that I was underneath some kind of influence. And she kept asking me, "Are you tired? Are you tired?" She kept asking me, "Am I okay?" And I just kept saying, I'm tired. And so I don't know if they knew, but I'm sure they did know that something was wrong with me besides me just being physically tired. But I ended up going, taking the kids to work, back to the office. I ended up, my friend was there who was actually a licensed therapist. She took me there, and I remember being in the office, and she was like, "Vic, what's wrong?" And I'm like, "I'm just tired." And she was like, "Are you physically tired, or are you just tired?" And I was like, without giving her name, I was just like, "I'm tired." I'm tired. I don't want to do this no more. I can't get life right. Every time I feel like I'm escalating in life, I'm falling down. It's like I just can't. I don't have any purpose here. Why can I get things? I just started blaming myself for everything that I was doing, not realizing that, you know, I had greater purpose. So she and another therapist that was on staff took me to the hospital that day. And while I'm there, I'm texting everybody, trying to get them to come get me. They wouldn't get me when I told them where I was at, because they knew that I had tried to commit suicide in the past. So from there, I went on. They admitted me. I ran into another therapist, another coworker I had previously. That night, my night care one-on-one person, she was there, and she was another coworker from a previous job, and she was like, Vic, I just don't understand. You of all people, you know, you act and you present yourself like you have it all together, but again, like I said, depression will make you lonely. They on the exterior, I looked it well. On the exterior, I looked like I had it all together, but at night, I was depressed. I was sad. I would sleep in my closet many nights. I remember just laying with the shoes because I didn't want my daughter to hear me crying. I remember, you know, just really just going through at the end of the night. And that next day, after I think I spent 2 days on the admission unit, they took me downstairs because they pumped me with all kind of pills. I can't even tell you how many pills they had me on, because I wouldn't respond. I isolated myself. I was shut off to myself. I didn't feel like going on. So they knew that I was just trying to cope and not trying to get better. So that third night, I actually saw the therapist. I saw the psychiatrist, and I remember sitting in the office, and I'm like, hey, how's everything going? You know, I had put on this face, like everything was okay, but it wasn't. And he looked at me and he said, Victoria, you are no longer a counselor, you are now a patient. And I remember running out of that room and just screaming, and they told me, if you don't be quiet, we're going to restrain you, and you're going to stay here longer. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't stay here another night. Wow. And so that's my story. And that was 2013. I will honestly admit, it wasn't until January 2015, 2016 that I actually felt like I was getting better. Just recently, maybe about 6 months, about a year ago, so 2016, I actually stopped taking all my medicine. I do not recommend that to anybody who needs their medicine, because I do want to say, and I guess you can concur, that you may feel like you're okay without your medicine, but that's just a joke to yourself. That's just the devil trying to convince you, oh, you don't need these medications, or you don't need to be this way, or you don't need to be on all these pills. You're fine. That's just what people are saying. But in reality, you do. Right.
It's a combination of things that you need in order to heal. Now, my story, it's along the same lines as her story, but mine's a little different. Like I said, I fell into a situational depression. This made the first time that I'd ever been depressed. Just a copulation of things, failures, things that had happened in my life, to where I just got to the point to where I felt like, you know, I'm not worth the time, the effort to continue to keep starting life over and over and over. Failed marriages, you know.
How many times have you been married?
I've been married one time. That was something, a learning experience for me, and something that I just, right now, I'm just not, I don't think that I'm prepared right now to be remarried. So that is part of the building process that I'm doing right now. But mine was, I became sick, and in the process of becoming sick, I just didn't realize that was just a time of transformation. That was a time that I was just going to have to start a new leaf, do new things. But in the process of not being able to work, I lost my brand new home. I lost my brand new car. I was basically homeless. I didn't have, much. And I ended up having to, with my 2 sons, having to go and live with my mother. And within the shame of depression and all that I went through, I made my family struggle with me in silence. Do not tell anybody that I'm depressed. Do not tell anybody what I'm going through. Don't ask people to come over here and ask people, to come see about me, come pray over me. I don't want anybody to see me like this. And I did that for like 3 years. 3 whole years, from 2012 to about 2014, 2015, just like her, I just started healing, started feeling better, started going out more, started doing things. But I stayed in the house for 3 years. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't go to honor societies. I didn't go to basketball games. I didn't go to football games. I didn't want to go to church. Because people at church had said, how can you be a woman of God? How can you call yourself a licensed minister and have the faith, and you're coming to me right now and you're saying that you're depressed? Something doesn't add up. How can you say that you have faith in God and that He is the author of your life, and you have allowed the spirit of depression to encompass you in such a way? Okay, so that was basically what I went through. So I'm not going to church. I'm not going outside because I felt safe. I felt safe at home. I felt safe to where no one could hurt me where I was. I felt safe exactly where I was, and my family didn't let anybody know. People thought I'd moved. People thought that I lived in another city, another state. They didn't even know that for 3 years I was right there at my mother's house, locked in. I could not leave. I would look out the window. I'd get dressed, to go, but anxiety had kicked in such a way. I had insurance. My insurance paid for me to go to the doctor. It paid for my medications, but it did not pay for me to have therapy either. So I never was able to get the therapy that I needed because my insurance would not pay for it. She talked about, being on both sides of the coin. Facebook can be fake book. And okay. I loved Facebook, and I was still on it. I'd still get up, get dressed, put my makeup on, do my hair, and nobody knew that I was struggling at home in silence in such a way, because I made it look like something that it really wasn't. So people go back and they look and they say, well, Tasha, I see you were posting, you were doing things. I was posting in different parts of my house. Or I would go outside on the porch and I'd post, to make it look like it's something that it totally was not. But I was not able to function anyway in society. Now hers is different. She said that she tried to commit suicide a few times. I was raised totally different. In my household, if you committed suicide, you went to hell. And that's the way that I was raised. So suicide was not an option, but I felt like I was sitting on hell's porch. I felt like I was just sitting on the outside. I couldn't go in, but God, if you could just take my life. If you could just do something to where, it won't be my fault for me not to live like this anymore. God, you do it. Because I know if I do it, this is your kingdom. I'm going to hell, and I was not willing to risk that. So I just struggled in silence year after year after year. My children suffered. My children were my caregivers. It was even to the point to where my hygiene was unkempt. I didn't bathe because I felt worthless. I felt useless. I felt inadequate. I didn't do my hair. 2016, and I'll just be honest, since we're here to help somebody. 2016 was the first time that I went to a beauty salon in over 3 or 4 years. And even when I went, and shout out to my hairdresser, if she's looking. Even when I went, and the magnitude of how my hair had come out, the medicine had made my hair break off so bad, and not from it being properly treated, it was really, really damaged. And even when I sat in the chair, she waited till everybody was gone. And even when I took my wig off, she saw that I was crying, and she said, let's breathe. Let's take a breather, and let's just calm down a minute, because it's okay. It's just you and I in here. I love you. I know what this is, what you're doing. I understand what this is all about. And it was a process. It was a process of me healing, even from that simple thing of just going to get a hairdo.
It's a lot, huh?
It's a lot. It's a lot.
We have somebody that says depression is definitely something that needs to be discussed. I also suffer from depression. One thing about depression that a lot of people, like she mentioned, being in church, as to am I, we have to put, especially if you're a leader in church, whether you're a greeter, you're an usher, you're a minister, whatever it is that you're in church, it's not that you have to, but you feel that you have to put on this certain image because you have other people trying to come into church and get their lives together, and so they're looking to you to be where they aspire to be. And so that alone itself can cause a state of depression because not only now you have your kids, you have your family, you have your job, you have your you have your family, you have your kids, you have your job, and then you have church. And so as you are a leader in church, you know, people look to you again to be where you are. And so that is a lot to take on. One thing I like to tell people is you need to understand you can only heal once you admit that you have an issue. You can only heal once you admit. You can only heal once you admit, because as long as you are in a state of denial, you can't get better. And like let
me add to that right quick. I kept going to the doctor's office every single month. And so I'm thinking, you know, well, why isn't my asthma getting better? Why isn't my blood pressure going down? And my general practitioner, she said, I think you need to go to see a psychiatrist. I was offended, honey. Because I said, I'm here for asthma. I'm here for high blood pressure. And you talking about a psychiatrist. I don't even know what you talk about. I don't even know how you get that. I don't even know why we even having this conversation right now. And she said, I'm thinking that, you know, some of this is mental, because you're here every month. You're in the hospital every month. And this has been going on now for 6-7 months. And with me, I don't know about others, weight gain was a part of my depression. I picked up 100 pounds in 6 months.
Wow.
So even whenever she did give me the referral to go to the psychiatrist, I held on to that referral. Because I'm like, I don't know what she's talking about. I don't even know why we're having this discussion. But something in the back of my mind said, she may be right. So even when I did go to the psychiatrist, I sat in the car for 45 minutes. I saw people I knew. Prominent people. Not people that you say, well, I know she crazy. Because you know that's what people say whenever you're going through. These were people that I'd seen, you know, in prominent positions in the community, leaders in the community. And I'm like, why are you going inside of this office?
But that's what depression will do to you. It will make you feel like you are alone. And I have to piggyback off of that because you went to the doctor and you were in denial about what you had. See, I went to the doctor knowing I had an issue, so I was seeing a psychiatrist. I wasn't getting any sleep so that I can get more medicine again, so I can get more pills. See, depression, as you see, depression is not just one form. I wanted to go see multiple doctors. I wanted to go see my internal doctor. I wanted to go see my female doctor. I wanted to see a therapist because I wanted more pills to take. And my friends had no idea until recently that I was popping pills the way I was. Until I began to speak out about this. And until then, because I would, and it was like, and I would act around them like, oh, you know, we'll just pop a pill here and there and act like what, not knowing that I had an issue with popping pills.
See, mine was totally different. Even after the psychiatrist did give me the Zoloft, Xanax, Trazodone, I was zombified. And it was like, yes, it did mask the pain. It did, you know, make you feel not so on edge, because I was edgy. I was always defensive. I was always feeling, you know, some type of way. I was always feeling like people were attacking me, you know, and I was easy to cry. So the medicine made me not feel that way. Let me add, okay, Tiffany says it's a sex addiction. It's an addiction. Depression is so many forms. There is.
Yes.
There is. There are so many levels of depression, and things stem off of depression. I was on a call, Facebook Live the other night with Pastor Joshua Smith, who is a psychotherapist out of Mississippi, and he said some things about depression that I didn't even know. He said a lot of us, he said some depression is even genetic. You know, and sometimes we're trained whenever, he said you have to be careful how you train your children also, and that stuck with me also. He said if your children see that you have anxiety and you're nervous about certain things, you know, children are raised by learned behaviors. So when they see you do that, what do you expect for a little child who is still learning and growing? How else do you expect for them, you know, to act also? You know, with Tiffany, that was just one of the ways that she reacted off of her depression was, you know, I feel comfort through sex. I feel comfort through this love that I think that I'm getting right now to ease this pain. So Tiffany, I totally understand what you're talking about.
Because I have a couple of friends who I know suffer from depression, but again, they're still in the denial stage, and so they're very promiscuous. They're sleeping with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and sometimes Cindy and Beth. Because they're looking for, if we're going to be honest, let's just go ahead and be transparent.
Exactly.
You're looking for validation or acceptance in some areas. So sex addiction can be a stem off of being depressed.
It can be.
Like I mentioned earlier, just being promiscuous because you're looking again for that validation.
Mm-hmm.
Angela said, I've gained a lot of weight due to depression. I stopped doing things that I love doing, but I use anything negative to turn up sometimes something positive. I'm trying to build my self-esteem in my daughter. And it's definitely, like she said, your children are going to feed off whatever you do. And I realized with my daughter, she's a very loving, caring person, which was total opposite of how I was feeling when I was in a state of depression. So yeah, once you identify that you actually have an issue with depression, you have to be willing to accept when people tell you some things. I don't know if I shared with you earlier, Tasha, I was a self-sabotager. If you came too close to me, I was going to cut you off because I felt like you were going to hurt me, or you were going to find out my deep secrets that I didn't want anybody to know. So we could be friends for 2 or 3 months, and as soon as I feel like you've gotten too close,
I'm cut you off.
I'm gonna cut you off.
I was that way. That's a part of depression. You don't trust people, and if you feel any sign that person is getting too close, or that person is doing something to make you feel like out of your comfort zone. When I was depressed, people would say, well, go with me out to eat. Let's go. I don't want to go with you, especially if you were bringing other people. I couldn't do that. Now I see where that Pastor Daryl Davis is on. I did a dual Facebook Live with him. If you can go and catch it on my page, you'd get blessed by that. He talked about knowing the difference from being depressed and being oppressed. Some people, if you've been feeling sad, feeling this way for longer than 2 weeks, longer than 3 days, you may be depressed. But some people are oppressed based on their situation, based on what they're going through right then. And it's not a depression, it's an oppression. So if you're feeling some type of way, if you're feeling like, I don't know why I'm feeling like this, I don't know, where these feelings are coming from, seek. And we talked about that a few minutes ago. Some people can be totally delivered from depression, no medication, anything, but some people need all of it. They need the medication, they need the therapy, they need church, they need good friends. So whatever you think you may need, and depression comes with a lack of trust, but you're gonna have to learn how to trust someone.
And like she said, I went through my stage when I was admitted to the hospital. I was diagnosed with bipolar depression. So which means I would have my moments where I was always happy. Like I had to be the life of the party. I was always happy. But then when I would get into my depression stages, I would isolate myself. So I could go from being out with everybody to
not going anywhere for days.
I don't want to talk to her.
Yep.
Like ignoring people.
Not answering the phone. Yeah. Same here. That's just a sign of, that's just a part of depression. Because if you have never been depressed, you don't understand the language.
Right. And now I now know, after dealing with depression for so long, I now know what my triggers are. Like I know I can't talk to certain people. And not because they will depress me, not because they will depress me, but because I know what they come with. Not because I haven't forgiven them for the situations that they've inflicted upon my life, but because I know that they're not good for me. So I know going around certain places, I know around going by certain people, those places will take me or remember me, and I don't want people to think, oh, so you're not delivered, so you need to be able to face those issues. No, that's not it. You have to, when you're depressed or when you're dealing with anything, you have to realize what made you feel that way. And not go there if you're not strong enough to go there. So it's certain people that I know that I can't talk too long to because they want to remind me of my past, not because I'm not delivered from it, but because it's not a place that I want to go back to.
Exactly. You have to I call it protecting your territory. This is my territory. I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible for me. And I know what it takes for a person to trigger me. I know what it takes, in order for me to start feeling some type of way. I know what it takes in order for me to go back to where I used to be. And I'm trying not to be that person anymore. Depression is lonely. It is hurtful. It is isolating. And I don't want to be that person, because there is so much purpose in me. There's so much purpose in you. So I have to protect my territory. So you may think that, you talk to Jane and Mary a certain kind of way. And you may think, well, that's just the way I talk. I can talk that way to Tasha. It does not work like that with me, And I feel like if you are truly my friend, if you know what I've gone through, if you understand the magnitude of where I was and where I've been and the pit that I've been in, it's not that Tasha, I got to talk a certain way to you and, I can't be friends with you. It's not that. Respect who I am and what I've been through in order to get that respect back. It's not about changing who you are. It's about helping someone else heal and be totally delivered. And until they get to that point, I have to protect my boundaries. Right. My territory.
So what would you say are some things that help you for not being depressed? Outside of not going around people or places, what are some things that you do to help you deal with if you're starting to feel like you're going low?
Okay. One thing I do every day, I have positive affirmations. I have them in my bathroom. I have a personal bathroom in my bedroom. And there are personal affirmations that are up. So every day I remind myself, I am good enough. I am beautiful. I have purpose. I am what God has called me to be. I am His child. I am good enough to be in the front. God said that I am a leader. He said that I am a lender and not a borrower. He said that I am first and not last. So I have to remind myself of those things every single day. Because some days, and even now, and I'm just going to be honest with you, because the enemy tries still to come in and say, I done had you one time. Let me see if I can get you again.
And see, he don't come, and I have to jump in. He doesn't come along. He has to come. He has to come this time. Well, this time I can't let her just not be with our friends. I gotta try to take control of her money. Let me make her car break down, because we've lost cars before.
Yes.
She's lost house. I've lost apartments. So he's gonna come with everything. Oh, so you're still single by yourself. So he'll play with your mind and tell you, oh well, that's why you're still alone. That's why you still haven't gotten to a place that you can love somebody else, because you're not through loving yourself. So even when you start to take those steps to get better, even though you know what caused you to become depressed, there are still times where he will come,
big triggers,
and
different triggers,
and make you feel that you're not over what you're saying.
Exactly. The other week, I was speaking at a conference the other week, and God had already placed down in my belly what to say, and I was excited. I was excited, that I'm not at the same place where I was even last year, and God has been opening so many doors and opportunities. And as I was beginning to, I had taken a shower, putting on my clothes, and I'm putting on my face, I'm getting right. And I'm looking in the mirror, and all of a sudden I'm in a full sweat. And I'm like, why am I in a full sweat like this? What is going on? And the enemy was like, these ladies have been ministers for years, pastors for years, preachers for years, have their own churches, have traveled the world, have traveled the globe, the nation. What make you think you're good enough to stand on that stage with them? And I'm in a full sweat by this time. And that's how anxiety would do me. I start sweating really bad, all in my face, all in my chest, and I just started sweating. And I said, oh my God, I said, I am good enough. But, the sweat, I sat on the edge of the bed, and I'm like, really? Am I not good enough to do this? Am I setting myself up for failure? Even after God has told me, what to do and given me the words to say to the people, am I really good enough? And I sat there for a few minutes and took a couple of deep breaths. And that's whenever God began to minister to me, you are good enough. I need for you to get up. I need for you to go out. Even if you aren't through fully get dressed in the car on your way. Don't sit here and allow these negative thoughts. And that's another thing. You have to command your thoughts. You have to command your feelings. No matter what the enemy is still telling me, I'm a big girl. And some days I'll be like, Lord, I'm thick, all these girls are small and I'm thick, and here she is. She said, well, I'm in my early 30s. Here I am. I'm in my early 40s. And I'm like, Lord, have mercy. Do we have anything in common? And I began to have anxiety, even before coming here. But God said there's a purpose. You're connected to her for a purpose. Her story may be different from yours. However, However, look at the masses that you can help to heal just by being transparent and letting everybody else know, letting the people that are struggling know that you're just not in this by yourself.
And like I mentioned before on the previous video that I did, what you call it, Facebook, social media will have you thinking that everybody is a millionaire,
yes,
that everybody drives a Bentley, a Rolls Royce, whatever them cars are called, because me, her don't have them. Will have you thinking that they
but
beat
we speaking it.
Will have you thinking that they beat they face up every day, that their relationships are happy, and that you are single, that their business is prosperous, and that yours is not, and it will have you feeling as if you are not enough, that you do not exist, that where you are in life is not enough, even though you've come from a domestic violence relationship, though you have come from getting a new job, from being unemployed for X amount of years, you have gone from sleeping with 10 people to being in a decent relationship. It will make you feel as if you haven't come along so far.
Yep.
But Facebook, social media, it's not, to me, I say it's not real.
Exactly.
It allows for you to portray what you want to portray, when you want to portray it, and how you would like to portray it.
Exactly.
But you have to understand and know your truth within your situation.
Exactly.
And not to allow for anybody else to make you feel as if what you're doing isn't enough or isn't good enough.
And let me say this, because it was hard for me. For those of us who love social media, and I do, don't get it twisted. I do. I love Facebook. I love Instagram. I love LinkedIn. I love all of it. I'm on it. However, sometimes, and I have a friend right now, you have to deactivate your page to get your healing. I need you to hear me now. It's hard to match that deactivate button. And every day you're like, well, what am I supposed to do? But there was a life that you used to have before we got Facebook.
I died and came back.
There was a life that we used to live abundantly before we got Facebook. So if Facebook is taking up your time, if you even feel like you're comparing yourself to someone else, even if you feel like, well, she's doing all of that, deactivate your page just for a minute. Just to regroup, just to find you somebody to talk to. There is such a thing as let's meet up for coffee. There is such a thing as, let's ride around and I just need to talk to somebody to get this off of my chest. There is such a thing as, can you just call me? I just need to vent some stuff. But Facebook, when you get to looking at Facebook and you get to looking at this person and this person do all this stuff, a lot of them people, and I'm just going to put it out there, and some people might delete me, whatever. Half of them people ain't even doing that stuff they say they doing on Facebook. And I'm going to leave it right there.
And not only that, even though, like we've mentioned before, getting some time to yourself and going through your thoughts is a good thing. To realizing what your triggers are, realizing what you're doing in life, realizing what you want to do. Listen to music, journal, go to church.
Yes.
Get around positive, influential people. Don't go around those same people to make you feel that you're less than. I also understand if you have to walk away and lose everything to get your sanity back, or to make yourself progress in life, that too is okay.
Yes.
And even after you've done that, understand, like we said before, some growth is better than no growth at all.
Exactly.
And understand that when it comes back to tempt you to see if you actually gotten over it, it's okay if you feel in that moment that you're depressed. Just know that you're not going to stay there as long as you stayed there before, once you identify what those triggers are.
Exactly. And sometimes, to piggyback off of what she said, sometimes you have to lose to gain. Some of the people that you're hanging around now, you're going to have to lose some friends, even some family members. You're going to have to disconnect yourself from some people. And God has seen you some people. I'm sitting by two ladies right now that I've just befriended in the last 2-3 weeks, a month. God will send you the right people to get you where you need to be. But you have to be willing to let people go just because they're my childhood friend, just because we're good just because we've been friends for 20 years. You know, were you here to help me gain? Were you here to help me prosper? You know, were you here when I needed you in the middle of that divorce? Were you here in the middle? You know, not your ratchet friends that say, girl, let's fight. We need some people that's going to help you grow. Go ahead.
I'm just joking. I still have a couple. I'm not.
I got 1 or 2 ratchet friends. Now, you got to have some ratchet friends.
Keep your balance.
But you got to have some friends that's, you know, all your friends can't be ratchet whenever you're trying to grow. You have to have some people that say, you know what, listen now, let's be honest about this thing, and let's see how I'm going to help you heal. Not just, you know, let's see what we can do to get back at baby daddy, and let's see what we can get back. You know, everything ain't that type of party.
It's not.
Exactly.
So do you have anything else to say?
This was awesome.
It was.
This was awesome. I thank you. I have to send a shout out to Roxanne Grimsley. Follow Roxanne. Roxanne is a domestic violence survivor. She is very active in our community here in Dothan, Alabama, with suicide and domestic violence. Reach out to her. She's doing a suicide walk that's coming up. She's the connect. She's the plug. She's about helping people heal. She's about helping people survive domestic violence, depression, suicide, whatever it may be. And I want to give a shout out to Roxy. Thank you so much, Roxanne. Follow her page, Roxanne Grimsley. She's on Facebook. Follow my page. I have a defining depression page. It's a closed group. Some things aren't meant for all of social media to see and hear. And we have people that are in the group that struggle from sex addictions, that have been molested, that have been, certain things that have happened that's private, but they need to share it with somebody. That group is Defining Depression. It is closed. Everybody won't see your comments. People comment every single day. They reach out every single day. We say we love you. We exchange phone numbers. And that's what that group is here for. I am Natasha Scott. You can follow me on my Facebook page, Natasha Scott, Natasha. I also have a business page, Natasha K. Scott. You can follow that page also. And I'm so glad to connect with you. Hopefully we can do our dual lives. We can do some podcasts. We can do some stages. You know, I believe that there's a lot of people that are struggling in silence who are afraid to reach out because they don't know what to say and who to say it to. Because, you know, people say mean things when you're depressed. They say, girl, you know, you just a drama queen, or, you know, you crazy. You don't always.
You're just extra.
Exactly. And that's not what a person needs at that time. So I thank you. I thank you so much.
No problem. I just, doing this video, I actually have to say, shout out to Stacey Yvonne of Q Health and Wellness. She did this. She and I had a challenge to go live every Tuesday and Thursday. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to talk on. I said, I don't know. But I was scrolling through my timeline and I just kept seeing depression. And it came from somebody who, we're not like the best of friends, but I admire her work. And when she said it as a positive person that she portrays to be, and I know that I'm not saying that she's not.
Right.
I'm not going to say her name, but when she said it, it kind of hit home for me because I love her dearly. I love what she's doing in her job. I mean, in her business is prospering. She recently lost her job, but it looked as if she was doing well. So when she posted that she was being depressed, God just told me just to go ahead and go live. I do a confession every Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock, and people don't really know what I've gone through. So I said, let me just pick this topic. Never in a million years did I think that the video was going to get shared or as many views as it did, because it had not, my lives had not been going, getting that many views. And then to link with Roxy, then to link with Tasha, and to hear her story. So you know these people in your community are suffering. I wish I would have pulled statistics to say, you know, how many people suffer with depression on a daily basis. To let you know.
Go to my page because the 7th through the 13th was Anxiety and Depression Awareness Week. And I put facts up the entire week to show how many people, and it's astronomical, the number. It was in the millions of people worldwide that suffer through depression.
Just know that you dealing with depression, whether you commented, whether you watch the replay, whether or not, that you are not alone with dealing with depression. You just have to link up with people who truly care.
Exactly.
And don't let people make you feel your feelings are minute or they don't matter, because if you're, like she said, if these thoughts and these feelings are lasting more than 3 and 4 days, there's an underlying issue there. You need to get help from somebody, whether that's writing it down and giving a letter to somebody and texting somebody who you know that's going to not exploit you on social media, or tell somebody that it's going to truly have your best interest. I will never be able to thank my friends enough for seeing that I needed real help and taking me to the hospital. I couldn't stand them things once I was in there, but now that I look back, I'm like, what if I would have happened? What if I would have tried yet again to try to commit suicide? What would have happened?
Exactly.
So I just want to, again, thank Roxy. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Pastor, for getting on and being so supportive.
Hey.
Milton Wren, he was on a moment ago.
Okay.
I just want to thank everybody who came, who shared the video. I'm sorry we came on late. Y'all know I hate to say that. My anxiety was going through the roof. I'm not going to be on time. But my friend who watched it like, so you never on time. But when it comes to important things like this, I try to be on time. So again, I want to thank everybody who's tuned in, who watched, and who will catch the replay, and who will share. I really hope that this, I do want to share this. After I did my second video, a lady reached out to me who is suffering from depression, and she was suicidal. I thank God that I was actually able to talk to her, and she actually saw and got help, and is in the hospital now getting help.
Good.
So just understand and know
that is a blessing.
that there is somebody around you that is going through it, so therefore you are not alone.
Exactly. And I was afraid to do my first live, but God, said, I said, God, what's my purpose? What do you want me to do? And he said, you have a testimony. You're an overcomer. Tell it. And I was like, I'm ashamed. I'm still ashamed of it. But, God said, it's time out for being ashamed. It's people that are struggling, suffering. It's time out for all of that. So like she said, I was scared people wouldn't come on. My last Facebook Live is close to 1,000 views. I think it was like at 950 something this morning when I looked at it. So do what God told you to do. Don't be afraid of being different. I'm a big girl. I'm plus size, big hair. We talked about being dark skinned. That was what I was bullied about whenever I was a child.
Pretty for a dark skinned girl is the quote.
Exactly.
I don't understand if that's an insult or a compliment or insult sandwich. Yes. Compliment, insult. Compliment?
Yeah,
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Same here. I had a gap whenever I was growing up. I was sickly when I grew up, So do what God told you to do. Don't be afraid of being weird. Don't be afraid of being different, because that is what God has placed in you in order for you to meet the people that you are assigned to. Who you are. There's somebody out there that looks just like you. There's somebody out there that's going through exactly what you're going through. There's somebody that can say, girl, just like, it was like an automatic link whenever she and I met. There is somebody out there that absolutely needs what you have. And do not be afraid. That's why so many people are committing suicide. That's why so many people are depressed. That's why so many people are struggling in silence, because we are afraid to tell our truths. And it's time for us to learn that somebody else needs who we are.
So I'm doing a form of community in teen depression due to the recent teen suicides. Thank you for sharing your testimony. No problem, Miss Virginia. Hey, Kelsey Love. And so if nobody has anything else to say or questions to ask us, we'll take about, because my daughter's getting restless.
Yeah.
We'll take about a minute
and we answer questions even after the Facebook Live is over. People are in my inbox because there are some people that don't want to say how they feel on Facebook. Inbox me. Inbox us. We answer questions. I give out my phone number. I talk to people every single day. I've met so many people in the month or two that I've been doing this, and I talk to those people personally. Because you can inbox and text somebody all day long, but when somebody is on the fence of committing suicide, life or death, they need to hear a real person. They need to see a real person if possible. So if you have any comments, anything that you'd like to say to either one of us, because we have different viewers, inboxes.
And we'll leave our contact information in both of the live feeds. So if you all don't have anything to say or any other comments, just make sure that you share the video, because you don't know who is connected to you that is going through.
Exactly.
It's not about the likes, it's not about the shares, but it's all about trying to help somebody not go to the other side of the fence.
Exactly.
So until next time, our viewers, understand what I love to say is your imperfections make you perfect. You are imperfectly perfect. So don't try to make yourself be somebody else.
Exactly. I won't even say anything after that. That wraps it all up.
All right, y'all. Bye.
Bye-bye.